I want it on there. He said I have to get really close to it.
Welcome everyone. Can everyone hear me? Am I yelling? This is not my normal thing to do. So, can you hear me in the back? Guys, good? Okay.
It's a great picture.
Okay, great. Hey, thanks for coming. Welcome to the Chico History Museum. Many of you have never been here. Many of you have maybe went to the library here before if you're an old timer.
I did.
And anytime before the early 70s. Hi, Lenny. This is a Carnegie library built in 1904. It was the Chico library for the whole town until the early 70s when the new one was built on East First Avenue. And so many of you have memories of this. It became a museum. We kicked over in, I think it was 2018, for the Chico History Museum. We operate completely on donation only. This is a nonprofit. So we make our funds through memberships, events, and special events, and any types of donations that people give us. So we're always looking for new members, we're looking for volunteers, everyone that can make this possible. We would like to keep this alive as long as we can and make it along for the next generation. We do field trips for every third grader in this Chico Unified School District. Has a field trip that comes through here. So that is completely sponsored by either local businesses, Seroptimus, or through us. So we want to keep the Chico history alive in this town. So let's see. For those of you that don't know, this kind of came to be Terry Moore, one of my good friends of 45 years. And Trish Hobbs, who isn't here yet. We were cutting wood, splitting it, and we got to talking, and Terry said, hey, we really need to do a Peppers event. And I'm like, all right, let me see what I can do. So we kind of put it together, and through the last few months, we met with Peppers and got memorabilia, and it really came together. We are a sold out event, so obviously there's a lot of interest in this, so we appreciate that. The more I got to thinking, on a side note of the Peppers and how I kind of started looking at how they affected my life. And as a young high schooler at Paradise High, we used to sneak down here to watch softball games, and we took the Bruce cutoff that nobody knew about, that now is a major thoroughfare. And we would come down here, and the Peppers, didn't matter what team was playing, but usually the Peppers were the most sold out, and you would have people lined up on both sides in your little baby lawn chair that none of us could get out of now. And we would have our little ice chest, and there would be just stacks of people, and it was every night that they played. They were that popular. So I think about it, and then I get to going through my life, and my first job is at La Comida, and Judy Harvey is my first boss. So I have another Pepper in my life. And then I head to Butte College and I play softball for Donna Weiss. So as I look, my first roommate, Diane Freitas, was a Pepper. I just like, everywhere I work, it seems like there are Peppers that have this, you know, a role in our lives. You know, sports plays a role in teaching us leadership, discipline, you know, everything about showing up for your friends, your team members. And so I want to thank them personally because they impacted my life, and I know you impacted many people's lives. So,
Hello. Don't be cheating.
Tonight's lecture is a little different. We're going to have two lectures doing the same topic. Dale Edson is going to cover the early part of the Peppers, and then Leslie Allen will cover the second part. We are going to probably, right after the lecture, we'll pull up at least half the chairs so you guys have some walking room to go around. We'll leave up half of them. But if you see us picking up chairs, don't panic. We just need to give some space. So I want to thank you again for supporting the Chico History Museum, and I want to introduce Dale Edson.
I need to get through this.
How do you get back? Don't ask me to do it. I don't know what you guys got going.
Okay, you do that. That's what you do. This looks like a lot of stuff, but it's big print. So, hi there. Wow, a lot of peeps. I would like to welcome the Pepper fans. They've followed us and supported us for years and years, and I'd like to also, really appreciate all the Peppers that are here, because we asked them to come and take part in this and mingle a little bit and show their appreciation for all of the fans that we had. And I'd like to thank the Chico History Museum. They have just worked really hard to help us out here. And I'd like to also thank Dave Nopal. He is a volunteer here, and he is quite a historian. And he did, like all of the slides that we have here, for myself and for Leslie. And so we're really appreciative of what I think he's done a great job, and I love our little title page that we made. So I just counted them, and there are 10 of the people. This is an alumni picture, and there are 10 of the people that are in this picture are here tonight, which is great. Appreciate it. Okay, I would like to begin with a little pre-Pepper history, because we're kind of remotely related to the teams that played before the Peppers were created. And some folks refer to Chico as a softball town, and it is. And I just talked to a gentleman at CARD, and he said they had 80 teams take part this fall in a slow pitch softball. And so it's just slow pitch now, but it's very active and it's great for people, and I'm glad they're doing it. The first place that I was aware that there was softball being played was the Memorial Field, and it's where Chico Junior High School is right now. And the other thing besides teams playing there were the professional team called the Colts. It was the Chico Colts, which was a long time ago. Okay. This is a brochure, a part of a brochure that was in a program from one of the tournaments that we hosted. And when I was reading it, I thought, I'm not going to read this whole thing, so I'm just going to paraphrase it for you. Softball did begin in the 30s, as it says, and a gentleman whose name was Milt Parkinson, he became the coach, and he worked with 2 women's teams the year after softball arrived here. And they were sponsored by the State and Motel, and for those people who've been here a while, the State and Motel was located out north of Chico on the Esplanade. They only played, the Chicoettes were their names, and they only played for a couple of years, and then the war broke out. So from 40 to 46 or 45, there was no softball in Chico. And then the 1938 and 39, they played for those 2 years, and that was it. But in 1946, after the war, I mean the very next year, there was softball being played again, men and women. And they played 2 years, the Chicoettes did, without a sponsor. And in 1948 and 50, there was the Golden Crust Bakery, and they sponsored the Chicoettes for a couple of years. Chicoettes for a couple of years. And then there were 2 teams. There was the Duffy team, and there was the Chicoettes, and Milt Parkinson coached them both. 1949, Parkey and their team attended their first state tournament in Alameda, and Chico hosted the first women's softball tournament in 1955 at Hooker Oak. 1955. I'm going to move to the next slide here. Oh, no, I'm not. Okay. Who do you think that is?
Elsie?
This slide is not from the movie A League of Our Own. It could be, it could be. This is a picture of the Chicoettes, and I don't have a date for it. The year is unknown, but they wore these great satin, red and gold uniforms, which really glistened, right? When I watched the Chicoettes when I was about 10 years old, and they kind of glistened in the lights from the softball lights. And the only person I know there that I remember playing is the person that's on the shoulders of everybody else, and that's Elsie Edwards. And I remember her playing, and she was pretty talented. And the woman to her right, our left, might be Mary Parkinson, and her son is here today. Where is it? Where are you? I can't find it.
Is that Grandma?
Oh, there. Okay. So your dad was coaching this team. Is that your mom?
She is probably taking the picture, that's what.
Oh, that's what moms do.
Donna Elliott on her right, and I recognize a half a dozen of them.
Yeah.
They have moved on.
And you were the bat boy sometimes. Yeah, I heard that.
I
Yeah.
actually had to fill in a spot once. When you're 10 years old, nobody takes a step back on the end of the field.
Yeah. Okay, this is another picture of the Chicoettes. And again, nobody knows the date, and they were not in the League of Our Own. And I recognize a couple of people in this picture from when I was a kid and watching them. In this picture, there was a Chicoette who later joined the Peppers. When the Chicoettes stopped playing, there was a gap of about 7 years before we started. And there was a gal from that team who went ahead and started playing for us as well, and that's Angie Lechuga Dickey Hilger. She's the second woman from the right in the back row, and there's your mom. The lady on the far right is Mary Parkinson. Parky was a pretty well-known guy, and he coached a lot of teams, and this is one of them. And this is the only other picture I have of the Chicoettes, and there are 4 people who I know for sure. And the woman second from the left in the back row, Ruth Bowles, played. She was from Durham, but she played on the Peppers when we started. And then there's a woman whose name is Colleen Sweetie, and she is in the back row, second from the right. And in the middle, the woman on the far right is, let me think about this a minute. Willie Clifton, and she played for the Peppers about 2 or 3 years. The other 3 only played 1 year. In the 50s, I used to go out with my family and watch the Chicoettes play. And as someone mentioned earlier, the crowds were really big even then, in the 50s. And prior to this time, I was only familiar with tag and hopscotch and, all the things that kids play. And when you're 10, I was blown away. I saw these women playing and these pitchers throwing hard, and I thought, this is the game for me. And when I get older, I'm going to play for the Chicoettes. Okay, this is a picture, one of the earliest pictures that I have of the Peppers. And we inherited the uniforms. So, but why are you guys laughing at them? They were okay. This is in 1962, And there's some people in this room that are in this picture, and that's yours truly in the back row left. And in the second from the right is Linda Detling, who played for the Peppers for years and also helped coach. And the lady on the far right that's kneeling, her name is Bee DeHaven, and she played housewife softball, and she was one of the two people that helped me organize the Peppers and get them going. So this is kind of a memory. This is the only picture I have of these folks. There are other pictures, but this is the oldest one that I happen to have. And this guy became our first coach, and we wanted Parky. Bea and I found out where he lived. You didn't know that, huh? We found out where your dad lived, and we went out and tried to get him to coach us, but he was done. I mean, he had been coaching since 1938. He'd been doing this for 19 years. So he liked what we were doing, but he just couldn't do it. And so we went to a lot of games out at Hooker Oak, and the men were still playing, even though the Chicoettes were not. And this guy was one of 4 brothers, and they were from Red Bluff. And he did a lot of officiating, and he did a lot of playing. So we asked him if he would be our coach, and he said he would. And he was kind of an aggressive coach, and yet he had that smile all the time. And we really loved him, and he only coached for 2 years. Going back a little bit, there was among the crowd that we used to watch, there was, for the Chicoettes, there was a family of American Indians that always sat on the first base side, and their daughter was playing third base, and her name was Angie Lechuga. And this mom would be there with her family and her husband every game, never missed a game. And Angie was the youngest on the Chicoettes. And she had this big, not Angie, the mom, had this big old cowbell. And anytime, I mean, if you heard that cowbell, you knew that the Chicoettes had done something really good. They either bunted and got on base, or hit a home run, or executed a double play, or whatever. So it was really fun to have that kind of entertainment. And this was an era right after the war, and people didn't have a lot of money, so a lot of people took their families out there. The kids played on Hooker Oak when they weren't watching the game, and it was just a really fun time, and it didn't cost anything, so families were very entertained. Okay, there is a bat boy, son of Mary and Parky, and he is here, as you saw earlier, and this is Doug Parkinson, and guess what his nickname is? Parky, just like his dad. Just like his dad. Moving ahead, when I was a sophomore in college, I was going to summer school, and there were 2 or 3 other people that were in the women's locker room, and we decided we need to come up with a name for the Peppers. And we talked about a lot of different names, but since we were wearing the Chicoette uniforms and they were red and gold, we thought Red Peppers might work, and we never called ourselves the Red Hot Peppers, ever. But we were the Peppers from that point on, and so that's how that started. So once we got a commitment from all these players, 6 or so of housewife players, and then I got some players from the college, classmates, and that's how the first team was created. And Jimmy was our coach for 2 years, and he did a great job. We loved him, and his daughter said just a few days ago, my dad really knew the game, and he did. He knew the game very well, and he was an easy guy to play for, and we had good practices, and so I want to thank his two daughters right here for donating this picture for this site. After the first 2 years, after the first year, we were fortunate enough to meet a guy named Ed Enns. And Ed was a good friend of Jimmy's, and Jimmy hired him, or I don't know if he hired him, I think it was volunteer. Anyway, Ed was the first assistant pepper coach, and he's here tonight. He's 92 years old, and he's sitting right over there. Would you wave, Ed? We are forever grateful to Ed. He stuck with us that whole year and came to every practice and went to every game and traveled with us, and we really appreciate that. Ed, thank you so much. By the way, we never wore the long pants that the Chicoettes did. We just put on white shorts. We did not. They were the pants that they wore were kind of like the baseball pants that the guys wear now. And so we thought we really didn't need to do that. And we slid, and people got Diane. Oh yeah. We slid in shorts, and it was kind of interesting, but we stuck with the shorts. This is another picture. This is not the same picture you saw earlier, but there's B. DeHaven again on the far right, my co-creator here. And I'm second from the right in the back row, and Linda Detling is the last person on the left in the back row. And I think that's all we need to introduce there. This is a similar picture to the one you saw earlier, and it's not the same, but it's similar. It just has different articles, and it's kind of fun to read the box scores and see who played what, and read the. So if you're not in the first 2 or 3 rows, you probably can't read the box score, but you can read the paragraph, so you can see that part anyway. And this is a larger picture of the same one. From time to time, seemed like all the time, we were having tournaments and promoting them, and this is a 1964 program of the Women's Northern California Championship. And on the right is an Upper Sacramento Valley Women's Softball League bylaws. So we're pretty organized, really. We didn't just go out there and play ball. We had to follow a few rules. This one, the operating bylaws, you probably don't want to read out of that. So we'll just go to here. And this cracks me up. I always smile when I saw this the other day when I was digging through the stuff. I thought, I have to include this because this is the players' code of conduct. And I never saw it, and I don't think anybody that ever played it. So, we'll just move on there. I don't think we needed a code of conduct. We were pretty well behaved. And these are a whole bunch of clippings that my mom captured and put in a scrapbook. And they're kind of fun, kind of interesting. So, there's a few more. State tournaments. We went to a state tournament in Hanford and Sanger. And I'd never heard of Sanger, but when we got down there, we knew that we were in the sticks because we didn't have a place to stay, but we brought sleeping bags. And when we got to the rec hall, they said, here's where you're going to sleep, and all there were pool tables. So everybody but about 2 people got a pool table, and we slept in our sleeping bags on the pool table. Okay, a few more articles here. This is a picture of the Tournament All-Stars from the Chico Women's Invitational in 1966. And that's Fran Coslet in the back row, left. And Fran is sitting right second inside of that 5th row back. Wave, Fran. So that's Fran Coslet on the left, and in the next picture is Dorna Anderson, our catcher. And then there's Fran McConnell, who is our, I pitched, but she really pitched. She was much better than I was and played a lot. And I kind of played when it didn't matter if we won or not, maybe that's. And then there's a 4th person there. Can anybody tell who that is? Donna Ferrano, and she was playing for a Stockton team, and then she got religion and came to the Pep. Okay. That's the same picture. Can you see her a little bit better? That does not look like Donna and me, but that's what it says in the body of where it names all the players. And then in the front row, in the middle, is a woman whose name is Betty Bennett. And Betty Bennett was a really good pitcher, and she played for Reading, and we always had amazing games with them. They were always close, and it was really fun to play against Reading, and they were really our arch rivals. And she got on all-star teams all the time, of course. And I was reading an article about her the other day, and the article mentioned that at one point she faced 19 batters, and no one in that whole sequence got to first base. Wow. So she was pretty talented. She gave us a lot of grief, actually. And I wanted to include this one because the Peppers won the tournament. And guess who the MVP was? It was Betty Bennett. So even though we were as talented as we were and won the tournament, Betty got the MVP, and she deserved it. She was a very, very talented person. Okay, we switched from the Pepper uniforms, the Chicoette uniforms, and Les McCausland was our coach, and he was with us for 3 years, and in the 3rd year, Joan Wallace became our assistant, so that's Joan Wallace on the left, and Les McCausland on the right, and we ordered these tops from Sears and Roebuck, and we put the script of Chico Peppers on with some kind, I think Dorna did it, so I'm not sure how they got on there, but that was when we switched from the Chicoette uniforms to the red uniforms. And that's the same picture, but a little bit different headlines. And that's the same picture, but a little bit different headlines, too. And that's a close-up. And there's the coach on the far left and Joan on the far right. And then the little guy in the front is Brian McCausland, and he was the coach's son. And he's supposed to be here tonight. Is he here? Is Brian here? Oh, he didn't make it. Okay. He was 10 the last time I saw him, and I was 22 or 3. And he stopped playing and Les stopped coaching the next year. And I found Brian last week. He was living in Paradise, and he was going to come tonight, and he found 2 plaques that were given to him and his dad as an appreciation from the Peppers. So he talked to me later that afternoon. He called me back after I found him, and we decided that his age was now 69 years of age, and the last time I saw him he was 10. So that's why I don't know if he's here or not, because I would never. Same pictures, but all the names are there.
Yes.
Which is good, so you can identify. We're going to run a loop of these pictures, some of these pictures, and I hope this is one of the ones that was selected, because some of these, after a while, you're going to see them for about 10 or 15 seconds, so you'll be able to read some of the names and identify some people in a little bit. Oh, this is a great one. This is Fran Cosset on the right, being put out at first base. And then, on the left, this was, as you can see by the date, this was Monday's Enterprise record, 1967, and on the left is Fran of embarrassment, I guess. She was the last batter in the bottom of the 7th. There were 2 outs. Scores 0-0, and Fran hits a home run. Perfect picture. You enjoying that, huh, Fran? So I think you were just embarrassed. That's Gene Lloyd that Fran is on the shoulders of, and the rest of the team. So yeah, we won the game 1-0 in the bottom of the 7th. And this is a 67 program, 67 brochure. And this is another picture and with the names, which is good for you guys to identify. And I kept these, there were a lot of people that supported this, and in the 60s, these were some of them. So I kept this in the slideshow just so you could kind of appreciate all the people that helped us get where we were. Oops. And at the bottom, Dorn Anderson's dad was responsible for buying the trophies. And here are some people that some of you might know. These are people that helped with officiating, groundskeepers, and all these people. It takes a lot of work to put on a tournament. And in many of them, Judy O'Neill was in charge. And not only did she play, she worked for CARD, and she ran a couple of these tournaments and was a key person in all of them. So I thought we ought to include that page just so you can see how many people it takes to put on a good tournament. And these are the people that played in the 67 tournament. Betty Lou Raker. Yeah, stat person. And this was a program from the 67 second annual invite. This is a list of all the alums that we know of, and I bet we have left some off. So if you find that your name isn't up there, and it should be, come and see me in, and we'll make sure that we update our list of alums. And this is a picture of the alums that played against the Peppers as I think it was a money raiser for them to go to nationals. Is that right, LA?
I believe so. I agree with
So that's Betty Lou Rake, excuse me?
that. I believe it, everything you said.
Yeah, right. That's Betty Lou Raker on the right, and she became our alum coach. And the guy on the left, honey, what was his last name? He came and helped us from time to time, and but he was never really an official pepper coach. And there's quite a few people in this room today that are in that picture. Oh boy. Yeah. Oh, this is fun. A professional photographer took these pictures in 1969. Is that right, Donna? Donna gave me these pictures and we made them into slides, and this is kind of fun. Fran McConnell. On the left was our pitcher, and Sue Clay, that's batting on the right. And this is a little out of order. We played 2 schedules in the same year at the same time. And these are the 2 schedules, so nothing like keeping us busy, right? The person on the left is Drina Baxter. Her mom used to run Beauty by Beverly. And the person on the right is Linda Detley. Donna. There she is, right there. Jean Lloyd on the left, and Sue Cuff, first base, on the right. And I'm thinking. I have it listed here, I can't remember. Karen Fleury. Karen Fleury, she was an outfielder, young. She was probably a senior maybe. Senior in high school, or she was from Orland. And, who is that? Denise. Oh, Denise Ryan, yeah. Sorry about that.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, she said. Diane was a fast pitcher. She was sitting right here. Diane is on the left and Diane is on the right. And Diane was a very effective pitcher because she was so fast. She was a little bit out of control. Can you imagine being a batter and facing, I mean, made the batters pretty nervous, so she was very effective.
You're too kind.
Yeah, that's Fran Cosset on the left and Judy O'Neill on the right. And that's Dorna Lee Anderson, and Sally Pearson gave me this picture, and I don't know the source of it for sure. She never pitched it when I was pitching. She was always my catcher, but she pitched a lot in batting practice for her own team that she coached, and then for us sometimes. So she's pitching, but she was our catcher. She wasn't our pitcher. She could have been. She was talented enough to be.
Could you go back just one? Right there, thank you. Okay.
Okay, and this is Dorna flipping the mask, since she was a catcher. You know how catchers always have to do that. Removing the mask and batting on the right. Here's Donna. Donna Washington White. And Fran on the right. Fran Cosset. This is Marianne Rudrich. And Marianne was on this team, but she didn't get photographed that day, so I just stuck another picture in there. What the heck? We got to give you a little recognition. This is a welcome note from Judy O'Neill, who was our tournament director in a I forget which tournament this was, I think it was it says right here, 4th Annual Women's Invite. And Les, who had been our coach, he became the commissioner. And he was in charge of 3 different counties and Butte. So I stuck that in there because I want to give them a little credit for the amount of contribution that they have made. Besides either being a coach or a player, they also were working behind the scenes too. And that's Joan. There you go. And this is these are the Peppers sitting in stands, waiting for their next tournament game, and I think this is 69 also. Yeah. This is the 69 team. And so is this, a little more traditional picture. Go team. And this is my last picture before LA takes charge here. Somehow we developed this little motto. I think it came from Jimmy. And it appeared on the back of one of our tournament programs. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. And it kind of was our little motto for a year or two, and we did. We prepared a lot, and we had a lot of opportunities, and we had a lot of success because of that. So, so I thought that was appropriate, and then this picture is another picture of an alum group. So, that's it. LA. What are you doing? I think this way is good.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
don't
think this
hurdle
way
anymore.
You don't want to hurdle?
I don't hurdle. Yeah. I didn't even slide, ever. That's true. Hey, who said that? Little joke that I don't slide. I don't hurdle and I don't slide. So I don't want, this isn't for the Dodgers. This has nothing to do
LA
with the
Dodgers, yeah, that's good.
It's what my team called me, so don't throw anything at me. It's not the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Speak into their life. Gail knows how this is done. Oh, I'm not as short?
I have this one for you for the video as well.
Oh, wow.
Put it in your pocket.
Put it in my pocket?
Yeah, that part, the bottom.
Okay, whatever.
Or on top of your head.
Okay. I got lots of instruction. I was supposed to have an assistant, Vanna Grilly, here. But she bailed on me, so she's not here. This is... I'm still here. Okay. This is really fun. We want to thank the museum. This is incredible. We have get-togethers in small groups with Dale's group, our different age groups, the ones that played later, the ones that went on. Anyway, it's incredible for everybody to finally come together and celebrate how wonderful our experience was in Chico. So thank you. They really pulled it together, and then of course we grabbed everything out of our garages and our storage units and tried to make a wonderful exhibit. But you know, it's incredible, and we just so appreciate the opportunity to celebrate what we did in the 70s. Sorry, Dale. So I didn't come till 72, so I don't know about the early parts, but Dale did a great job explaining how we got started. And then I will have to go into Joan Wallace, because we really don't have the Chico Peppers the way they blossomed and continued without Joan Wallace. She came to, I think in 62 or 63, came to Chico State and then was an assistant coach.
66.
66, an assistant?
Yeah.
So she came to Chico and she's 31 or 32. Oh, you want a slide? That's why I have Vanna White. Okay, that would be LA, not the Dodgers, but anyway, minor details. So.
Oh, you do it too. Now we stop. Now you're
Okay.
quit hitting that thing.
So we would really not be who we were in the 70s and the 80s without Joan Wallace. She started playing at 16 in Connecticut for the Raybestos Breakettes. And it's pretty impressive. So they are a powerhouse team in the nation. So they played for 64 years. They won 24 nationals championships. They played in 6 world tournaments and won 4 of them. And then after that, they stopped doing the world tournaments for a team. They ended up being an all-star team. And so it was players from all over the United States, kind of the way they do the Olympics now. And the Raybestos coaches coached those teams for several years. But so her quality of coaching and teaching and playing, her competitive spirit over the years came from Connecticut. She came to Chico. I don't know if you have good enough glasses to read those articles, but I don't, so you read them later. These are early teams. I think that looks like Sally trying to coach, but anyway.
With wooden guns. Yes.
So, but Joan's, what Joan brought to Chico was such a different style of coaching that any of us ever were accustomed to. I mean, practices, you had a contract, she told you what was expected of you, and, when you showed up, when you go to bed, who you travel with, who you room with. The structure was incredible, and pretty much like our parents, when we're in high school and they tell you what you're supposed to do, you think, well, that's dumb, nobody else does that, why should we do that? But when you look back on it, it really brought the team together. It really gelled the team, and it was just an incredible, her expertise that came from Connecticut was what really made the Peppers. She once said, well, that's her giving signals, they were always fun. You were in trouble if you missed them. And oops, that's Joan trying to get me to agree with something, but didn't work well. She once said in an article, was quoted, that when she was asked to play for Chico, I should have done bigger letters like you did, but my clipboard's small, that she wanted to do something similar to what she came from in Chico. So she coached at Chico State, she taught at Chico State, and then she went on to coach for the Peppers, and she wanted to bring her Connecticut Raybestos Breakettes style of softball here. And we think she did a great job. Sometimes we didn't know it then, but we do know it now. Anyway, she showed us batting. I remember at one of our practices, Lazzarini was playing shortstop, Marianne Lazzarini, for us, and she wasn't getting to second for a double play. And Joan told her 2 or 3 times how to do it to get there, to come around the backside so that she was catching and going, and then Lazzarini wasn't getting it. So Joan went out there and did it. And it was, you know, we go like, oh my goodness, she's old. But so, but you know, yeah, 35 or 38, right? It doesn't look that old now, does it? So this is a later picture of Joan. We kept her with us for a long time. So she coached us through the 98 World Masters Games, and this is the last year she coached us. We won gold medals in Portland, but she played golf and won a gold medal in golf in her age category. So we love that picture, so we had to throw it in there for you. There she is again. Now we're going to move into our teams. So this is obviously Joan on the left. Anyway, Betty Lou Raker. Anyway, we don't have names under our pictures, but there's a lot of people here that can point them out. The teams were wonderful. We played at Hooker Oak. Most of our pictures, I'm not sure this one is, we took our team pictures at Hooker Oak, lots of times on the tree, but Joe Sturdivant, Judy Harvey, I better not say names because I'm going to miss 10 of them. So this is 1976, the Nationals in Stratford, Connecticut. And that was a pretty fun year. We started, actually Joan once said that the best thing about her playing years was the fact that you got to travel. You got to leave your hometown. You got to go see the country. And you know, they had a phenomenal sponsor in Raybestos Braquettes, so it didn't cost them so much. It cost us a little bit more, but they, you know, she traveled all over the country. She played in the World Games, and so the best part is getting out of your little corner of the world and traveling, and she said that was what she wanted to bring to her Chico team. She wanted to get the gals playing and getting playing around the country in different tournaments, and we did. We got to go to Houston, we got to go to Connecticut, Illinois, we played in Canada. I mean, it's a phenomenal experience that she drug all of us through that, you know, we probably wouldn't have been able to do without a coach like Joan Wallace.
Can I say something?
Okay, Sally gets to speak.
It only reminds me because of this picture. We got to go to Stratford, Connecticut, which was Raybestos Field, and we played on Raybestos Field. But every time we would go to a city, we would always go to a sports store because we wanted to find the best bat that would help us out. And we went into the store in Stratford, Connecticut, and we're looking around, and somebody talks to this gray-haired old man in the corner, and he finds out that we're from California, and he goes, "Oh, you're Joni's team."
The trip to Stratford, to Connecticut for the Nationals was, like Sally said, was just incredible because they knew Joan played for Raybestos from 47 to 60, I think 61. And then she finished college and then went into her teaching career. She was getting old in softball, you know, in her 30s. 32, that was kind of old. So anyway, she moved on to get a real job. And so when we were able to go back in '76, and she stayed in contact, her parents were there, she went back to Connecticut a lot. So when we finally won regionals here and were able to go to Connecticut and play, we were Joni's girls. We were, I mean, we got a lot of write-ups just because we were Joan's team, and you know, and she was back, and we would like to have gone back again and done a little better. We didn't quite win that year, but we did get there, so that's fabulous. So that's the Stratford team. These, I think that's Linda Dentling is coaching with Joan there. Hi, Linda. This is a '80s team. So white uniforms. This is getting close to the end. We played through '83, and we played in New York, we played in Houston, we played, our last tournament in '83 went to Salt Lake City Nationals, and we then, well, this is always a fun picture. This is Mount St. Helens, and we played in Portland after that, and of course they had a lot of masks, they had a lot of dust around, and so anyway, we decided it would be fun to play there anyway, because the volcano was done, and so anyway, that's kind of a fun picture. The bottom, the parents on the bottom right, that's Donna Perano's mom and dad. And so probably one really fun thing about traveling with the Peppers is our parents went. My mom and dad went, Donna's parents went, Harvey's parents went. You know, people, our families all showed up. It was just really fun. So Mount St. Helens, this is an alumni picture. I think we've had several of those. We do invite the alumni to come back and show up and try to beat us, and sometimes they do, which is fun. So these are later Peppers, probably '80s, '81, and more alumni. So this is a picture of, we kind of retired in '83 from competitive softball. Some people were old, like 35 and 34 and 2, and anyway, we probably thought we needed to work for a living and stop playing around. But some of the younger ones were in their mid-20s, and they went on and played with Reading Rebels. Might be Becky Love, Terry Moore, Carol Sowers, Sherry Grilly. Oh yeah, they picked up Sherry Grilly too. And Honeycutt. So anyway, and we all went and supported them and loved watching them. They won a couple of national tournaments. They were pretty good too. So of course, because they picked up Chico Pepper talent, that's the main reason. And anyway, after 3 or 4 years, they stopped playing. We decided we still kind of knew how to play softball, so maybe we would play in the Chico League. And that's what this picture is. And the high school kids and the Chico College kids in Chico League, they thought they could beat us. But you know, when you're just having fun and it's not that important, and you don't have to win. But the youngsters, they have to win. They have to beat people that are old like us, and so I don't think we hardly ever lost. But it was so annoying, but just, you guys can memorize this. Old age and treachery will overcome youth and skill. So, and that was our motto. That was our motto when we were playing against these high school kids that thought they should beat us, and they probably should have, but we didn't really care. We were just having fun.
What's that again about old age and treachery?
You know that saying, Becky. Old age and treachery will overcome youth and skill. So then we played Chico League, and anyway, we heard about these 35 and over tournaments, and we thought, well, we're 35 and over, we should play in those. So we went to Connecticut, and we won. And so then we went the next year, that's 93. 94 we went to Illinois, and for some reason they forgot to let us win. We were only second. But we thought we were still good enough, so we went on to Australia. And we played in the World Masters Games in Australia. And for those that don't know, it's the biggest tournament in the world. It's the Olympics for people over 35. And so we took a team. We ended up second there and have a silver medal. And then every 4 years they have the World Masters Games. So then we decided that's not a good medal. So we went back to Portland and played in 98, which is where Joan and Diane Iverson got gold medals for golf. But mine are, yeah, that's a, but we got gold medals for softball, which so we kind of, this is a Chico League picture. So, and, oh, now we're going to switch over to winners. We were winners in a lot of softball tournaments. So these are the 3 trophies we got for Houston. And then Houston doesn't do anything little, so they gave us 6-foot trophies. And of course we had to buy an airplane seat for the trophy to come home. I'm going like, how the heck are we going to get that thing home?
Can you go back one picture?
Oh golly.
All right. Thank you.
I'm not real good at this. Vanna White's not here. Okay.
Quick, Carl.
Okay.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. So these are the trophies. Boy, Joan looks pretty young there. Not me so much. And then these are alternate teams. This is Houston. We have several peppers there. Oh, no, that's the team picture. That's the team picture. No.
Can you go back?
Oh, golly.
Yeah, I'm not the only one.
I'm too fast. Nobody ever said that about me. Okay. So this was a picture for the record Searchlight. And let's see. Bottom right is Coco Crum, and she did our PR with the record Searchlight for years. That really made a big difference to our fans, writing articles and keeping us in the newspaper so that people knew when we were going to play, how we did. We had a wonderful following through the summer. And her sidekick, who also did a lot of our articles, wrote about us, and we even drug her around with us all over the place to Houston. And is this young lady right here? This would be Zoe Keithley, and she wrote for the record Searchlight, and she wrote several articles, and they're over here, On the Road with the Peppers, and they're very entertaining because it's not just about the line scores or softball. It's very personal, and you know what happens when you're fighting over who you're stuck with as a roommate, and you know, and so
Enterprise Record was really good also.
Enterprise Record, yes.
Many record search, and I know you don't mean that.
Okay, thank you. Is that must be Reading. I did live in Reading for too long. So what do you want me to say? Enterprise Record? Yes. Okay, that's better. We do have yeah, he's not thrown anything at me yet. So. He's thinking about it though. So anyway, this is a jacket they give us. So these are players. Anyway.
Hit the button.
Hit the button, thank you. That is...
The jacket's for...
So those are all Houston, Alternies, Sally, Grilly, Harvey. So this is Nationals. We already did that. Articles you can review. Oh, this is Australia, and Els Prigmore was able to go. She drug all 3 kids there. So the little one in front, he's a bat boy. He's only 2. He didn't do so well, but but the girls did a little better. They were older. But anyway, I think we had 35 people that went. They didn't all play softball, but they did go on the trip. And then this is Portland, gold medal winners in Portland. So I'm going to finish with my favorite part of the Chico Peppers, and that's this town. We got to represent Chico, and as Terry spoke, it was incredible. We never had a sponsor, but the whole town supported us. And it was just amazing. When I started out, you know, the stands were kind of sparse. People would go through the park, and then all of a sudden they just stay. The games were free, so you could, you know, hang out. You're at Bidwell Park. It's a beautiful park, and they'd stay and watch. So, you know, this is a booster club list. We ran La Comida as a fundraiser, and a couple of people worked there. So yeah, we had a few people that knew what they were doing, so you didn't get a bad taco. So that's again running La Comida. We had a very interesting group that sat on third base. It was about 6, 8, 10 men. They were called Section 33. And they allowed us to run their business on a weekend. I don't think Joan appreciated, because it was
99 Club.
The 99 Club. So it was a bar that these men hung out at, and so we ran their bar and we got proceeds. Anyway, whatever. Joan didn't like that fundraiser. The La Comida fundraiser was a little better. We did an ugly dog contest. We hosted the King and his court. We lost. It was only 3 men, but we still lost. But they were pretty good. But one thing that we really think is special, Joan got Rebestis Braquettes to come and play in Chico. They were in California touring, and we played 2 games against them, and we lost. It wasn't a lot, but we had 8,000 people in the stands for that game. It was incredible. They brought stands from the other parks to fill it. We had Canada came down. We had Southern California teams. Anyway, it's been quite a journey, and the town was incredible. We made about $2,000 a year on programs, selling ads. We passed the pepper pot, and we got about $200 a night on that. The fundraisers, what we raised pretty much paid for hotels, entry fees. Card costs us $100 a night or a game day to play there, and then we had to pay for officials. So pretty much what we raised paid for everything but gas and food. But it seems like we always had youngsters like Sherry and Terry that are 18 and still in school and don't have jobs. We always had a group that had jobs, and then they drug the little ones along. Now the little ones are in better shape now. They're taking care of the older ones, so it kind of goes around in circles like that. I hope just as we move forward and we talk about what Joan brought to this town and the team that she was able to create. She loved this town, and she loved sports. She loved teaching it. She loved paying it forward. wanted everybody to enjoy. Right now, we still have a pepper golf tournament that we take to Reno. Joan started it from Bidwell, and we've carried it on. Joan passed away in '04, and we still play golf up there 3 days. We always started out with explaining to everybody who Joan was and how special she was and how special it is to share any sport you love, the life lessons and the just bringing women forward into sports. So we hope that everything we do in our lives honors the memory of Joan Wallace, our time here in Chico, and the fabulous community and the just special time the Peppers had here. Thank you for coming. And I think somebody wanted to say something. Somebody wanted to say something. Okay.
So when Joan, her memorial was in Chico State, Shermer Gym, and that was in 2004. And the lessons that Joan has taught us, we never really knew. We knew she was a great athlete. I mean, you can't play for Ray Bestos. She was incredible. But at that memorial, they set up kind of her memorial, all of her items from Connecticut. And there was a 4-page spread from the Saturday Evening Post. Joni at the plate. We had no idea because she was so humble, and humility was one of the virtues that she taught us.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else had anything.
Yeah,